We're pick 13. Maybe we should just let Washington win. Ah, well. It's not like we didn't try. Hi, folks, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the D-Bell Sports Podcast. I'm your host, David Bell, and today we're going to talk about who the Cowboys should draft. I know. It's never too early. Never too early to think about it, especially since, the way our season is going. But, just for fun, let's talk about it. I'm going to go through some of the potential players available in this draft. This is not really a mock draft. Of course, we'll find out what our actual draft number is, after the season is over, our draft stock, our draft position. But, I'll go through some of the position groups, some of the positions that the Cowboys do need right now. And we will start with running backs. Oh boy, Ashton Gianti from Boise State is the best running back in this draft. One mock draft actually has us taking him. At number 13, they have Travis Hunter, Shadur Sanders, Cam Ward, Kelvin Banks, some defensive players going first, and that's not outside the realm of possibility. Of course, the Giants might be one or two. The Jaguars are up there. The Giants need a quarterback and all this stuff. And we do need a running back. Just to give you a quick overview of Ashton, 2022, he had 821 yards and 7 touchdowns. And the year after, he doubled his production in touchdowns to get 14 touchdowns with 1,347 yards. And then this year, so far, Boise State still has at least one more game. He's had 2,288 yards and 28 touchdowns. So, incredible. He's doubled his touchdowns every year. He's been the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year twice in 2023 and this year. And he is considered a top candidate for the Heisman, whose finalists will be announced next week. Of course, Travis Hunter is a huge favorite for that, but you never know. He could be like second place. He could be right behind it. He could be really close in voting. I don't know. But he's one of he's the top running back draft prospect in the draft. And he's definitely a contender for that award. Dylan Sampson from Tennessee. I saw Dylan Sampson play against Florida in the Florida-Tennessee game. That was a big game. Fortunately, Florida lost their quarterback. And DJ Lagway came in and lost in overtime. But Dylan Sampson, a great running back, a 4-star recruit who chose Tennessee over offers from LSU, Mississippi State, Penn State, and Arkansas. Over 3 seasons, he's rushed for 397 yards, 604 yards, and then 1,485 yards so far this year. So he's definitely another prospect we can look out for. Maybe if we don't get a running back right away, maybe we can go and snag him at some point. Now, defensive ends and backs. Abdul Carter, number 1 prospect in the draft, defensive prospect and otherwise. He's an edge. We also might need a defensive tackle, and let me just briefly tell you guys the difference. I mean, I'm learning. I'm a novice fan, Cowboys fan, and just football fan in general. So I'm trying to learn all this stuff too, and hopefully my podcast can help educate you as well. But an edge is a defensive end or outside linebacker that lines up outside the tackles, which are on the end but near the line of scrimmage. So they're on the edge. They're trying to get to the quarterback. Micah Parsons is an edge rusher, but he can line up anywhere, so he's not exclusive to that one spot. And right now, he's the starter at the right defensive end spot. Chauncey Goldston is the starter at left defensive end. DeMarcus Lawrence is currently on IR. Otherwise, he would probably be the starter as well, be a starter. And Tyrus Wheat and Sam Williams are backups. Sam Williams, of course, being on IR this season, unfortunately. Outside linebackers are just outside that, and they are DeMarvin Overshown, Maris Lafu, the strong side linebackers. Nick Vigil and Damone Clark are weak side linebackers. Now, defensive tackle, someone on the line that can mix up that tries to move up the middle, or that prevents someone from moving up the middle. Maybe they can sack a quarterback if they get to them. Definitely make the quarterback uncomfortable and try to prevent the run up the middle. Yeah. So defensive tackles are usually pretty heavy. Big guys like to push people around, you know. Miley Smith is a defensive tackle. So is Osa. Zua. Can't pronounce his full name. I don't want to try. A pass rusher isn't an official position, but it's just a job people have. They just rush the passer. But the draft prospects. So Micah Parsons wants the Cowboys to draft another pass rusher to work with him. So he really wants Abdul Carter. Chauncey Golston, Tyler Sweet, they're just not good enough. D-Law's getting older. He's on IR. He's 32 years old. Micah is 25. He wants some help on defense. Abdul Carter, we can talk about him. He's from Penn State. He just named Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. A big deal. It's his first season as a defensive end. He was previously a linebacker, okay, and he's doing great at defensive end. He's the first player from Penn State with 10 sacks in the season, and that's first time since 2015. Also on defense, Mason Graham from Michigan, the best defensive tackle in the draft. He could really help the O-line because really help the D-line, because the D-line is letting teams just run all over us. It's very frustrating. So he's a potential top 10 pick as well. He could also help out Micah Parsons. Now, wide receivers. Let's talk about some wide receivers, because Brandon Cooks might not be around forever, We might not have Jalen Brooks. So Travis Hunter from Colorado, obviously a top prospect, He's a round one prospect, a finalist for the Heisman, coached by Cowboys legend Deion Sanders. Great tackler, has great acceleration. He could definitely be a number 2 wide receiver behind CeeDee Lamb. He also plays cornerback. So I don't know if he's going to do that in the NFL, but he's a great player. People have been looking out for him for years. Pat Bryant, Illinois. Someone told me in the chat, actually, to look out for him. He's a round 3 prospect. I just looked online. Someone said he might be round 4 also, so round 3 or 4. 984 yards and 10 touchdowns. One of the most impressive wide receivers in Illinois history. So he's from Illinois. Having a great season over there. He's good at running routes, creates separation, and could be what we need as a number 2 receiver. So if we go running back early on, maybe we can snag him later in the draft and get another receiver. Isaiah Bond from Texas. I've been watching a lot of Texas football. He's great. He's a round 2 prospect at the moment, so maybe we can snag him in round 2. But there's a grade of about 87. According to ESPN, explosive slot receiver, tracks the ball well, could develop into a great route runner. So all good things that we might need. Lineman, Kelvin Banks from Texas, a round 1 prospect. He has lateral quickness, the potential to be an elite pass blocker, and knocks linebackers off course. All good things that we need, especially if Zach Martin retires. Will Campbell, LSU, around 1 prospect as well. Efficient at combo blocking up to the 2nd level and has a grade 90 by ESPN. We'll need a new guard, not necessarily a tackle, to replace Zach Martin, but maybe we can move Cooper Beebe to guard and draft someone for center. In that case, we won't need a lineman, if people think Tyler Guyton is not working out, drafts his replacement in one of these guys because of all his penalties. But I don't want to think like that because we already spent a first round draft pick on him, so maybe we need to help him develop. But yeah, all good options. But yeah, how great would it be to get a running back in that first round and not have to deal with that because Zeke is going to be gone. Rico Dowdle, he could maybe stay as a backup. He hasn't done the greatest, but he just had a 100-yard season. He's had a 100-yard game. He had a couple that he got at least 70 yards, so maybe. And then I don't know what we do about Deuce Vaughn. Maybe third string, but definitely need to replace. We need to get that first string running back established. Lineman, yeah, Zach Martin retires. We get one early on. We've been having to put some backups in on the O-line, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. It worked out against the Giants, but man, the Giants are just not good this year. So I don't know if it's like our O-line did outstanding, or if it's like the Giants just can't get to us no matter what. So I'll always use another O-lineman. We've had to draft lately Tyler Guyton and Tyler Smith, 2 drafts in a row, because our O-line is getting older. We drafted all those guys in 13, 14. Now we got to replace them, unfortunately, and we've already had to replace Tyron Smith, who went to the Jets. He's probably going to be gone pretty soon. So could always use a good O-lineman. Wide receivers, yeah, we could get some wide receivers later. We might need to replace Brandon Cooks. So yeah, we can definitely look at some. We can see if our draft picks from this year are working out. Ryan Flournoy, and other people, see if they're working out. But wide receiver, yeah. So I see us next year: CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Tolbert's emerging as a number 2 or 3, but he definitely emerged as a number 2 in Brandon Cooks' absence, because Cooks was supposed to be number 2. Jalen Brooks, I can see him; he's gone, and Brandon Cooks, he's gone too. I can see us, just releasing both of those guys, saying, "Hey, Jalen, Brooks, not Tolbert. Brooks has been struggling. We did what we could, but it's time to move on. If we don't, hey, Brandon Cooks will come back from injury. He'll come back stronger, hopefully, and maybe we can develop Jalen Tolbert a little more. But as of right now, if we go after a wide receiver, I see us just cutting those players, just right now. Keep Kevontae Turpin because he's such a good punt returner. And Jalen Tolbert's being very consistent. He's doing great with 2 wide receivers or 2 quarterbacks now that he has to play with. So that's always good. Tight end, Jake Ferguson has emerged as the starting tight end, so he's solid. And Luke Schoonmaker is starting to get some good playing time. So that's good. He's a good backup. We have Brevin Spann-Ford, an undrafted rookie, who's been getting some catches. That's good. He's been the backup when Jake Ferguson has been out, because Jake Ferguson was just out from because of a concussion. I think he was out another game. So that means these 2 are coming in and getting more catches, which is good. We need them to get playing time. And Brevin Spann-Ford, a 6-year player in Minnesota, I think people are very excited to get him as an undrafted rookie, undrafted free agent. So I was excited. I was excited when he got his first catch, and I'm excited to see him develop. So very excited about that. Defense. I didn't really talk about defense in this whole list, this whole just like conclusion list. But obviously we need defense too. Micah needs some help. D-line needs help. Marcus Lawrence is getting older. We have to address the defense at some point. It is somewhat going downhill without Jen Quinn. Some injuries are also plaguing it. I get that. But and several defensive players left for Washington, with Dan Quinn and with Joe Witt, who was also on our team. He was one of our coaches. Now he's the defensive coordinator over at Washington. Why some people call Washington Cowboys light, which they kind of are in some ways. So we definitely dropped some defensive players over to Washington, so they'll have to be replaced. We lost Sam Williams to IR, so we'll have to see what he can do. So we'll have to address many defensive positions too. But yeah, not a mock draft by any means. Just highlighting a few players that we could really use. And I know it's early, but I would be very excited to get any of these players. I'd be very excited to get a really good running back, Ashton Gianti. I'd be very excited to get him since he's the number one running back prospect. Some of these receivers, defensive players. I mean, I'm very much looking forward to the draft. Since our season is quote unquote lost, of course, Cooper Rush isn't going to let our season be completely lost because, hey, he's playing for a contract. He's a backup. He wants to stay on the team. He wants to, sign with the team for another season, another 2 seasons. Of course, he's playing for his job, But, yeah, just a few of my thoughts. I'm really looking forward to the draft. We'll see after it all shakes out. We still have several weeks to play. Playoffs are coming soon. I don't think the Cowboys are going to get to the playoffs, but just excited to see where we go from here and just see our draft order. So thank you so much for everyone for watching and listening. Thank you to my Patreon members. You guys are the best, and I can't thank you enough. This has been such a fun journey. This is my second season being a YouTuber, and I love it. This is so much fun. But thank you so much for all your support out there, and of course, go Cowboys!